Hi there, monetizers. Welcome to Conversations with Hetty Online. I'm excited to have you here. This is a space where we get to have meaningful conversations about monetization, digital marketing, growing your business, helping your organization to show up in the online space, your personal finances, your relationship with money, anything at all that can also help you to grow from a personal development perspective. So, today's conversation is all about what are the three things that you should be focusing on this time of the year. Can you believe it? We've reached the midpoint of the year. 6 months are gone. Now we've got 6 months ahead. Now, I know that when we reach this time of the year, a lot of people are suffering from fatigue and exhaustion. And those goals that you wrote at the beginning of the year, some of them have worked out. Congratulations, but some of them haven't. So regardless of where you are at the moment, I want to make sure that we leave the end of this particular conversation completely empowered to take the necessary steps forward, enabled to grow your business, your organization, as well as your personal brand. After all, it is level up season. Speaking of level up season, I want to give a very big shout out to our sponsor for this particular episode, which is What If Gifting and Branding. They are the ones who created my Level Up journal as well as my Level Up mug, because remember, it is level up season. So let's get into the nitty-gritty, shall we? All right, if you don't have a pen and paper, you're probably going to want to grab one because there is so much information that we're going to go through. So there are two sections that I'm going to look at in this particular conversation. Number one, what are the three questions that you need to ask yourself about your business and your personal brand in this particular season? Point number one. The first question you want to ask yourself is really and truly, what is working? What's working? Now, this is an important question because often at times we always default to what isn't working, that we don't actually take a moment to consider what is working in your business, in your organization, in your personal brand. Because whatever it is that is working is the thing that you want to focus your energy on and to amplify. If you only focus on the things that are not working, you're going to get really good at the things that are not working. But in fact, you want to get really good at the things that are working. So what's doing well in your business? Is it the sales? Are your sales good? Is it your networking? Are you finding that you are making all the necessary efforts that's required to meet the right people? Is it things like your product development, the quality of your service? What are the things that are working within your business and within your personal brand? You need to be intentional about noting what is working so that you make sure that you continue to keep on going with the things that are working. So what I often find is that when you don't approach your business or your personal brand and organization from a place of self-awareness, what ends up happening is you might unconsciously stop doing the things that are working. Then it ends up having a negative impact on your business. So write down what is working. All right. Now, point number two, and you've probably guessed it, you want to write down what's not working. What is not working? Now, this isn't about writing a complaints list. No. It is about having a proper moment with yourself that is reflective and that is as deeply honest as possible. What is actually not working? Sometimes you may find that it could be the staff that you have in your organization or business. Maybe they worked for a particular season in your business. Maybe when you started off, you needed to work with interns and students and people that were a little bit cheaper on the pocket. But as your business has grown, you've realized that in order to scale and continue to level up, you need people that have more expertise in their area of specialization so that your business can grow. What is honestly just not working and working out for you at this moment? Could it be a particular product that you're selling? You know, a lot of entrepreneurs have a wide range of products, which is good, but you find that honestly, only 3 out of the 10 products that you sell are really moving well. So why then spend so much money developing all of the other products when you should, in actual fact, be focusing on the 3 that are doing well? So what needs to be discontinued within your business or your personal brand? Now, don't forget, when you are asking this question of what is not working, also take a look at yourself. What's not working with you? Are you managing your time efficiently? Are you finding moments to rest so that you can replenish yourself? Are you finding that you are spending far too much time on menial activities instead of focusing on strategy and the things that your business actually needs to be able to move forward? Write it down, spend a reflective moment so that you can then be able to remove the things that are not working so that you are creating better space for things that are working within your business. Now, the final thing that I want you to think about and ask yourself, which is the third point, is what are the 2 major things that you are going to focus on within your business for the remainder of the year? As you know, I consult and I talk to so many entrepreneurs all the time. And when I ask them, what are you focused on? Oh, I'm focused on visibility and this and this and this. They've got a list of 100 different things that they focused on. Now, I understand why this is. A lot of entrepreneurs are solopreneurs, so that means they've got a lot on their plate. So yes, you might have a lot of responsibilities, but you only want to have 2 major focus areas. 2 major focus areas. So those 2 major focus areas means that you are focusing and ensuring that your strategy is in alignment with those 2 things. It really helps you from a decision-making perspective as well. So let me give you an example. So I've got my agency goals, I've got my personal brand goals. When I look at my own personal brand, I've obviously written a book, you know that, Monetize with Hetty The Entrepreneur. So one of my major focus points is promoting my book. And because I'm self-published, I want to make sure that I give it as much marketing and monetization visibility as possible. And then the second thing I'm focusing on is my own personal brand amplification. Now, let me tell you what happens when you understand the 2 major things you are focused on. Because you understand what you are focused on, it allows you to have very clear decision making. When somebody comes to me with an opportunity for my personal brand, it's so much easier to now think, okay, is this opportunity going to help me in terms of visibility of my book? Because what ends up happening is you take every opportunity that comes. You end up chasing your tail and you are moving from pillar to post because you don't actually have a clear direction in terms of where you need to be going. And that for you as an entrepreneur is not a good thing. Remember, as the owner of your company, as the founder of your personal brand, and as the chief marketing officer of your business, it is important to realize that your time and mental space is the most important asset and commodity that you have. You do not want to be wasting your time on things that could be delegated or done by somebody else. Your mind and your time are so critically important. So by understanding the two things you are going to focus on for the rest of the year, it is going to help you to make the right decisions. So monetizers, these are the three major questions that I really want you to ask yourself during this time. Number one, what is working? Number two, what is not working? And number three, what are the two major things that you are going to focus on between now and the rest of the year? If you are able to answer these questions and take action in alignment with these questions, you are going to find yourself having a lot more clarity within your business and your personal brand. Now, you know me, I understand that human beings are holistic. And because we are holistic, it doesn't help for me to only share strategy with you. I also need to be able to share mindset with you, because you carry yourself into your business, into your personal brand, into your organization. So there are three mindset points that I want us to focus on and for you to dig into. Now, these are not points that I've gotten from anywhere. These are my own personal points in terms of the three mindset things that I am focusing on in my own business and in my own life that I am sharing with you. So if it's something that resonates with you, please let me know within the comment section. All right. Point number one from a mindset perspective is I fundamentally believe that we are in a season of scale. We are in a season of scale. That means that it is the growth season. During the COVID years, during lockdown, etc., a lot of that was the season of incubating and seed planting. Now we are in the season of scale. Scale means taking up space. It means if you are here, it is now time to move here. Scale means occupying new territory. It means growth for your business, for your organization, and for your personal brand. Now, scale might mean different things to different people. So if you are selling from the boot of your car at the moment, scale might mean getting shelf space in somebody's shop. If you've always been relying on your own strength, scale might mean forming meaningful partnerships and collaborations. So you need to decide for yourself, what does scale look like in your life? Now, one thing that you need to understand is that when you begin to enter into that space of scale, it means that you are going to feel afraid. There are going to be limiting beliefs that are going to creep in. That voice in your head that says, who do you think you are? You want to be featured where? You want to be in which space? You want to do what? That voice is going to come into your head. But when we are in a season of scale, we do it anyway. We do it afraid. Come and see me shaking when I had to now prepare for conversations with Hetty Durban. There was a voice in my head that said, what? You think you're going to gather a group of people to listen to you outside of Gauteng? Who exactly do you think you are? Who do you think are going to buy those tickets? But and let me tell you, that voice is there. It would even wake me up in the middle of the night. I'd have anxiety attacks. But I said, I am in a season of scale. I am going to occupy territories and spaces that I have never done before. You need to develop that mindset for yourself in this season. What does scale look like to you? Let me know in the comment section. What does it look like to you in your life, in your business? Because we are in a season of scale. Point number 2 is pruning. When you are in a season of scale, you need to remove the things that no longer serve you. So the pruning thing came to me because I've got a home garden. So I grow my own vegetables and all of that. And one of the lessons I've learned in growing my own vegetables is when the leaves start to die out, if you don't pick it off, it ends up impacting all the other leaves. And before you know it, whatever you're growing ends up dying. So when you see that the leaves are starting to get brown, you need to pluck it out. That is called pruning. Now, when you pluck it out, a space ends up being created, and that space allows new leaves to grow. You cannot occupy new space through scaling by carrying the heavy weight that is holding you down, the relationships that no longer serve you. It doesn't work. In order to be able to occupy new space and new territory that you've never occupied before, you need to prune and take out what no longer serves you so that you can create space for the new things, new ideas, new relationships. All right. So when we talk about pruning, what are we talking about? Yes, sometimes it's people. Unfortunately, what happens when you begin to occupy new space? You know, the law of physics determines that the higher up you go, the thinner the air becomes. The higher up you go in altitude, the thinner the air becomes. That means not everybody can breathe at that high altitude. You are able to breathe at that high altitude because you have developed the lung capacity to be able to do so. You've done the work. You've done the work in order for you to be able to get to that level. But there's certain people that you started out with that have not done the work. So they cannot always breathe at those high altitudes. You need to understand that when the season of scale comes, certain things are going to fall away. Those people are not bad people. They simply have not developed the lung capacity to breathe at that high altitude. That is why the more successful people become, the less friends and people they have around them, but the more meaningful those relationships are, because they are now in environments with people that have developed the same lung capacity as them. So do not be afraid and frightened when you see that there are people that might fall off as a result of you growing. The truth of the matter is that growth triggers those that are stagnating. Growth triggers those that are stagnating. The other thing that you may need to prune is your way of thinking. What are the conversations that you are having every day with yourself? Because the most important conversation you will ever have is the conversation that you are having with yourself. In order for you to occupy new space, you need to think differently. You need to affirm yourself differently. Your mindset needs to change. So if there are certain negative thoughts and words that you put into your own life, you need to now be able to monitor that. What are the mindset things that you need to really think about? Do you tell yourself that, oh, I can't sell? I'm an introvert, therefore I can't show up online. Nobody is going to buy from me. How can you occupy new space if you are thinking in that way? You need to prune away that mindset. And the third and final thing that you need to think about from a mindset perspective in the season is faith. Yep, it's faith. Here is the thing about entrepreneurship. We are those crazy people that see a vision that other people don't see. We are those crazy people that develop a path on a gravel road where nobody knows where this path is going. When you are scaling and when you prune away the things that no longer serve you, you now need to operate in faith. Without evidence whatsoever that what you want to do can even be done. But here is the secret. If your mind has conceptualized it, it means that it's yours. It's yours. If your mind has thought of it, it means that it is yours. You may not have all of the answers at the point of thinking about it. You may not have everything figured out. You must step out in faith and begin planning as though you've got everything figured out. The right people and situations will begin to present themselves along the way. With this Conversations with Hetty tour, sometimes I'll put out there and be like, hey guys, we are coming to Cape Town, which we are, by the way, on the 29th of July. I wasn't sure of the venue. I wasn't sure of anything. But what happens when you set a date and you put it out there? It means that things begin to align in your favor. Before we knew it, venue sponsor, collaborators, partners are coming on board, and now things are beginning to take shape. But those things would not take shape if I sat on my couch and kept quiet. So do what you can, but you must step out in faith. Now, stepping out in faith looks like product development. It looks like executing on whatever events that you want to execute on. It means writing down your income goals. How much money do you want to make? The only way I started making six figures in the online space is when I wrote it down and I made a commitment and said, I'm going to do this thing. Once that decision was made, now what ends up happening with the brain, because the brain is an interesting thing. The brain cannot always tell the difference between fact and fiction. So what happens is the minute you think something, your brain now begins to think, okay, how do we make this happen? So let's do a quick recap in terms of the 3 mindset things that I'd really love for you to focus on between now and the end of the year. Number 1 is scale. What does that look like for you in your business, your personal brand, your organization? Let me know in the comment section. Number 2, pruning. Removing the things that no longer serve you, that are a heavy weight, that you've been doing out of habit. Let me know what you are going to prune in this season in the comment section. And number 3, operating in faith. So in this moment, I want to stand in agreement with you. If you are going to start operating in faith, write down in the comment section, Hetty, I am going to operate in faith. And I am going to like your comment and really stand in agreement with you. All right, monetizers, that brings us to the end of this edition of Conversations with Hetty, the online version. I know we've reached the midpoint of the year. I know there have been some wins and some disappointments along the way. You might be at a stage where you wish you were further along with your goals than you actually are. It's okay. Tomorrow is always another day. That's what my grandmother always used to say. Tomorrow is still another day. 2023 is not over for us yet. Let us grab the next 6 months by the horns and let us ride this thing until the end of the year. By the way, on the 2nd of December, at the end of the year, we are having a physical Conversations with Hetty on the 2nd of December in Johannesburg. That's going to be our year-end event. We are all going to gather together and have an incredible time. So please, please, please make sure that you save the date. So before we end off, I really want to acknowledge our venue sponsors, which is Creative Backdrop ZA. This is a wonderful space within Johannesburg for people that are content creators who want to do photo shoots or who want to record a podcast or a YouTube show. I will definitely make sure that I leave the description of all of these wonderful sponsors down below so that you can make use of their services too. All right, monetizers, on that note, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye-bye for now.